Good evening, folks, and a very, very, very warm welcome back to you all. Thank you for joining us here on the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. My name is Tonchi Prusak, and after a little bit of a break where I've been overseas on a rather, well, let's call it a football trip, because life revolves around football, I am back, and it's an absolute pleasure to be with you here on this fine Monday evening. Well, folks, a lot is happening. The local community leagues kicked off over the weekend. The Victorian State Leagues, both the men's and the women's competitions are in full swing. The VPL men's, VPL women's, it's all happening, and we've got a lot to cover on tonight's show. Folks, tonight we're going to be joined by two very, very special guests. The captain and a hat-trick scorer over the weekend for the Geelong Galaxy United Women's Football Club, senior football team, Emily Sutcliffe. She'll be joining us, and there's a lot happening in her neck of the woods, and we'll hear a lot about that as well. Someone who's new to the region in the sense this Melbourne-based coach is at the moment doing wonders at Winslow Park, where he's Geelong Soccer Club senior men's team is currently sitting on top of the State League 1 competition standings. DARREN DUFFY will be joining us a little bit later on in the program to talk about the fantastic start that the Lions have enjoyed in their State League 1 season so far. We've also got lots of news to cover up from the last weekend, and also we've got heaps going on as far as next week's show is concerned. So, look, quite a fair bit happening, folks, tonight. Big shout out to all of our sponsors tonight. Sponsors: Curva Coaching Geelong, Harcourts North Geelong, Aus Sports Line Marking Geelong, and Access Geelong Hire. Some great local businesses who are jumping on board the Geelong Region Soccer Show. And, folks, we're the only media that covers football in the Geelong region. We're the media that covers the sport that you love. So jump on board if you've got a small business, or if you're one of the clubs that haven't been involved with us directly this year, and I'm going to name them: Bell Park Soccer Club, Surf Coast Football Club, Geelong Galaxy United, and also North Geelong Warriors by virtue of their business advertising sponsorship of Sports Line Marking. Just those 4 clubs out of 22, whatever it is, in Geelong that have supported our show so far. So if you're involved with your club, get on board, get in touch with us directly, and sponsor an episode of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. We're going to take a short break. When we return, it will be time for tonight's news desk. And like I said, a lot happening from the weekend just gone by.
The world is yours. So work hard, and you can have whatever it is you want.
Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Time for our news desk. Well, we're going to start off with some video footage of the Geelong Galaxy game last weekend against Ballarat City. A 5-0 win for the Galaxy, and Emily Sutcliffe scoring 3 of those goals. She's going to be a guest later on tonight's show, and she was on absolute fire, assisting with the other 2 goals. So the Geelong Galaxy doing incredibly well, and as we can see, they're some technical glitches, as is usually the case. Let's look at the ladder for the Galaxy. So this is after round 7. In mid-table position there, 3 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses. And as we said, it was a fantastic result on the weekend just gone by. Sutcliffe scoring in the 15th, the 44th and 45th minute, and Sugamori scoring in the 25th minute, and Ruby Deeg in the 91st to round out a very, very successful day out at the Moorshead Park Stadium in Ballarat as Ballarat City went down to Galaxy 5-0. This Sunday, Geelong Galaxy taking on Manningham United, 7th place Galaxy up against the 6th place United. So this game will be held at Galaxy's new home ground at the Bannockburn Recreation Reserve. Kickoff there is at 3 p.m. and need I say that if Galaxy can defeat Manningham United, they will overtake them on the competition standings. Now, before that happens, we've also got a Nike FC Cup game happening on Wednesday night. Geelong Galaxy United taking on Banyule City. Now, this game was meant to be played in Melbourne, but lucks of fortune for the local girls meant that the game has been switched to Geelong, or to Bannockburn more precisely, and at 8 p.m. on Wednesday night, the Galaxy will be taking on Banyule City. Moving on to VPL, men's VPL, and in the Victorian Premier League 1 competition, round 10 saw the Bulleen Lions defeat the North Geelong Warriors 3-0. And the North Geelong have a mid-table position, just like the Galaxy. They're in 7th position at the moment. 5 wins, 5 losses from 10 games, and 15 points at the moment. This Saturday, they've got an opportunity to move up the competition standings when they take on 9th place Brunswick City, who are just 2 points behind the Warriors. That game at Alco Park kicking off at 5 p.m. And if we have a look at the men's VPL 1 ladder, North Geelong Warriors, as we said, occupying mid-table position. And so they're at the moment 6 points behind 2nd place Brunswick Juventus, two wins, and 5 points behind the 3rd placed Eltham Redbacks. So although it's only early days yet, and if we are looking at the prospects of promotion up to NPL football next season, Warriors, who are in their first season of VPL 1, doing a reasonable job there. Okay, let's turn our attention now to the men's State League competitions. In State League 1, Geelong defeated Altona East 2-0. Olavo de Andrade Santos and Mathul Koué scoring a goal each for the Lions. It is their 4th win on the trot, and in those 4 games since, apart from the opening round blunder, if you like, where they lost 1-0 to Upfield. Since then, the Lions have recorded 4 wins for a goal difference of 7-0, so a +7. So clean sheets since round 1. Well done to Geelong. We'll be speaking to their head coach, Darren Duffy, a little bit later on in the program. And Darren has got a lot to say about the early season success of the Lions. The first local derby in State League 2 was held last weekend up at Myers Reserve, and it was a very tight contest, and Surf Coast through John Pikett, the only scorer of the the score of the only goal of the game. The Coasters returned to Torquay with a 1-0 win over the Rangers. Whittlesea Rangers, speaking of which, Whittlesea Rangers defeated Corio 4-2. Dragos Mamliga and Tristan McGrath scoring for the Eagles. This Friday night, the Eagles will be hosting Surf Coast at Hume Reserve. A little bit later on about that, but let's go on to State League 4. Sebastopol Vikings lost to Bell Park in Ballarat, 1-0. Gabriel Mage scoring the only goal of the game, so it's a tight affair there, but Bell Park coming home with all 3 competition points. In State League 5, Deakin Ducks are doing very well. They drew with Melbourne City 2-2. Jeremiah Jacoby and Daniel Temkin scoring for the Students. Lara United, unfortunately, is not having the start to the State 5 season they would have wished, going down to Doreen United 6-0. In State League 6, Barwon defeated Melbourne University 4-1. Finn Murphy, who's been in great goal-scoring form of late, he netted a brace. Nathan Nidzwidsky and Cooper McCormack also hitting the back of the net for Barwon. Alphington Athletic defeated Ocean Grove 2-1. Ollie Honeyford scoring the Waves' only goal of the game wasn't enough as Athletic ran out 2-1 winners. Okay, turning our attention now to the fixtures for this weekend. Round 6 in the men's State League competition. Geelong, who is on top of State 1, they host 11th placed Western Suburbs on Saturday night, that game kicking off at 6 p.m. at Winslow Stadium. In State League 2, as we mentioned earlier, Corio hosting Surf Coast. Well, the latter position suggests that the bottom side, Corio, will be taking on the 5th place Surf Coast. So you'd expect Surf Coast to have a pretty easy game at Hume Reserve. Having said that, derbies are derbies. They're always tight affairs. And this Friday night at Hume Reserve, game kicking off at 8:30 p.m. All roads lead to Hume Reserve, to Bell Park, and make sure you do head out there if you're not doing anything this Friday night. At JT Gray Reserve in Williamstown, 3rd place Williamstown will take on the 10th placed Geelong Rangers the following day, kick off at 3 p.m. In State League 4, Bell Park, who are 4th, they take on Westside Strikers, who are 8th. That game at the Bell Park Sports Club kicking off at 6 p.m. on Saturday night. Over the page we go, and in State League 5 action, Newport Storm are at home to our Deakin Ducks. The Ducks 2nd versus the Storm, who are 11th. That game at AW Bond Reserve kicking off at 3 p.m. Lara United, who are on the bottom of the competition standings, they host 8th placed Heidelberg Stars at Lara Recreation Reserve on Saturday. Game kicking off at 3 p.m. In State League 6, Ocean Grove have got an important game against 9th place Truganina Hornets at Shell Road Reserve. And a win here will see Ocean Grove distance itself away from that relegation zone. And Barwon, who are in 8th position, they take on West Point, who are 7th. A game at Webster Street Reserve also gives Barwon an opportunity to jump up the competition standings and certainly leapfrog West Point into a higher position. Women's State League also kicked off last weekend, and it was the opening round of the Women's State League season in Division 1. North Geelong Warriors, which is the only local team that's fielding a team in the State Leagues, they defeated Sydenham Park 2-0. The goal scorers were Millie Chapman and Chiba. We don't have another name for that one. That person, Chiba. Millie Chapman, who has joined the Warriors, her older brother Angus is banging the goals away for the seniors, and now Millie's doing the same with the women, so it must be some sort of a first. In round 2 action this weekend, the Warriors will be at home to Faulkner. That game kicking off at 2:45 p.m. and that will be followed by the senior men's at 5 p.m. when they take on Brunswick City. Can we see the Chapman siblings score a goal in both the senior men's and senior women's? It will be interesting to see if that is the case. Effectively, 1st versus 2nd, although it's only one round gone. We have Faulkner, who are top, taking on North Geelong, who are 2nd. Well, it would be remiss of me not to mention the A-League, even though it is a local competition. But the regular season of the A-League finished last weekend, and Newcastle Jets were crowned the minor premiers, and Adelaide United slipping into second spot. Those two teams will have a bye in the opening round of the 2026 finals campaign. Auckland will host Melbourne City on Saturday at Go Media Stadium in Auckland. Kickoff there is 3 p.m. Australian time. And then the big one, the Big Blue in Melbourne on Saturday night, 7:40 p.m. Melbourne Victory taking on Sydney FC. So that will be quite an interesting game, no doubt, that's for sure. I think that, folks, almost brings us to the end of the local news. As we said, on the weekend, we had the Community League, the local Geelong Region Community Leagues kick off. They're in the senior men's and the senior women's are in the midst of their grading phase. And just worth noting that there are a total of 32 teams in the men's competition this year, split over 6 different pools. And that is a reduction of 1 team from last year. Last year there were 33 teams. This year we've got only 32 teams. However, in the women's competition last year there were 18 teams. This year we've got 21 teams in 3 pool groups, and so that is a fantastic jump of an extra 3 women's teams in 2026. Well done. Well done to everyone there involved in those new women's teams that are playing this year. Folks, we're going to have a little bit of a break. After we return, we will be speaking with Emily Sutcliffe, the captain of the Geelong Galaxy United FC senior women's team. She also scored a hat-trick on the weekend and assisted with 2 other goals in Galaxy's massive 5-0 win over Ballarat City in Ballarat. Stay tuned for that. Don't go away.
I'm Joe Gergich.
And I'm Helena Fantella.
And welcome to our family here at Harcourts.
And welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. It's time now for our very, very first guest. And joining us here on tonight's show is the captain, and she's also the scorer of a hat-trick over the weekend from Geelong Galaxy United, Emily Sutcliffe. Emily, good evening and welcome to the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. Good to have you back.
Hi, Tonchi. Yeah, thanks very much for getting in touch. Good to be back on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, speaking of good things, it was a good win on the weekend just gone by. So congratulations on that, a nice big 5-0 win over Ballarat City. Now, you scored 3 goals there in the 15th minute, 44th and 45th minute, but you also assisted as well with 2 goals. So tell us a little bit about let's talk about the game on the weekend at Moosehead Park.
Yeah, it was good day at the office, you could say. Some good goal involvement there, and the team really gelled together. I feel like it's been a long time coming. Not the prettiest of goals, but it hit the back of the net, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it's a great facility, that. So obviously playing at Moosehead Park is always a good thing. But speaking of facilities and great surfaces, this year Galaxy has moved to the Bannockburn Recreation Precinct, home of Golden Plains Soccer Club. And it seems to be really suiting your style. You're really enjoying it. Tell us a little bit about the move there to Bannockburn How you've seen the season so far?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a great facility up there. The whole club at Golden Plains has been brilliant and very welcoming. So, brand new facility pretty much with female-friendly changing rooms, and it's been the pitch themselves are both in very good nick. So that makes a big difference. Especially as we're coming into the colder months, and we all know how Geelong is with our facilities. Yeah. So, it's making a big difference for us. And, it's been, like I said, very hospitable, and it's been a smooth move because it's not ideal, really, moving mid-season for anyone. I've been part of Galaxy now for several moves. So, it's been not completely ideal, but, Golden Plains have been really hospitable and really good to deal with.
Great people up there at the club, and there is certainly a fantastic club moving in the right direction, that's for sure. But if we look at our the ladder there so far after 7 rounds, and at the moment mid-table, 3 wins, 1 draw, and 3 losses. And certainly been hitting form at the right time, that's for sure. The VPLW competition, it's a pretty tough league, isn't it? Because you've got some teams, basically spending whatever they can, investing as much as they can to get into the NPLW. And then you've also got teams that don't want to drop out into the respective state league competitions. How do you find the standard? I mean, you've played at NPLW level before, so you're certainly a good person to answer this question. But how do you find the overall standard and the difference between the top and the bottom in the VPLW comp?
Yeah, it's been like sort of I've been at Galaxy from 2019, and then stepped away a little bit to play NPLW as well. And coming back into the VPL league now, it's come on leaps and bounds from where it was 2019 and 2020. Like you said, the clubs are prioritizing their female teams a lot more, and the budgets that are being spent are a lot bigger than what they were, even 3-4 years ago. So it's really good to see how competitive the VPL league is. There's no easy game in there whatsoever. So it's really eye-opening now to see. I think that the NPL and the VPL are really catching up to each other. So makes 2 very competitive leagues. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in some of these Nike Cup matches coming up as well, because obviously the NPLW clubs are coming in on the next round, and I do think there'll be some big surprises in there when there's a lot of VPL and NPL clubs meeting. So, I think obviously the bigger difference with the NPLW is you get that extra training night a week. And the professionalism around the commitment is a lot more. But it's really interesting, and it's good to be able to play this standard closer to home, which was exactly what I wanted. And our playing group are exactly the same. We just want to be playing at the highest level we can and not having to travel, beating the work rush hour traffic to get into Melbourne. So it's ideal at the moment with where we're at. And we've had obviously, like you can see there, we've had 3 losses, but I'd say 2 of them we didn't deserve to lose. We were dominating a large period of the game and just couldn't hit the back of the net. So I think that's where this week was a bit of a sigh of relief, really, that it's finally the chances we're converting and we're getting them in the back of the net.
Yeah. And we speak about you mentioned the professionalism and of the higher leagues, but this year we had Jake Butler early in the year, the head coach and a former New Zealand international who's also coached at quite a high level. How has he integrated into the Galaxy setup? He seems to be, certainly judging by the results of the last few weeks anyway, things really start to be clicking, so to speak. How have you found working with someone like Jake as well?
Yeah, I've known Jake now for a few years. So was actually kind of co-coaching, if you like, with him back when his daughters were in under 13s and under 15s at Galaxy when I first started. So obviously great guy, and his idea of how he wants to play football really aligns with how I see the game as well. So I think he's got a lot of respect around the dressing room for his the level that he has played at. And I'm a big believer that you don't have to play to be able to coach the game, but it does really help in terms of the detail and the experience that he can bring in as well. It's just I think a really good group of players that he's managed to bring in as well. So we've got a lot of new faces, a lot of young players as well, and everyone's just really integrated into a really positive culture. So we're really building that identity, and as you said, we round 7 now, we're really starting to click and gel, and we've got a few more visa spots to fill in the next couple of weeks before the deadline. So it'll be really interesting to see how we go over the next couple of rounds. And it's a really positive place to be at the moment, and enjoying my football. So that's the main thing for me.
Awesome. Yeah, I know coaches and captains hate to individualise players who they think have been doing well, but have there been any of the players that have really kind of not surprised you, but have impressed you in the early rounds and just seem to be playing really, really well at Galaxy?
I think to be honest, it is really this year. I think everyone's really gelling together really well as well. We've obviously got our visa players that have come in and just seamlessly just kind of integrated into the team. But I think this year we're really well balanced as a squad as well, and everyone's kind of really gelling together really well. Defensively as well, we're doing a lot better than what we were last year. So that feels really good. Now we've just got to be getting the ball in the back of the net. And obviously Galaxy, we've got a lot of our junior players we're representing at the emerging Matildas as well.
Yes,
so some of them are starting to get senior minutes, which is brilliant to see. We had Hannah Walsh on the weekend, and Ellie Walsh have been coming in and getting minutes in there. And we've got the likes of Lavina and Teeny and some of those younger players are starting to come in, which is brilliant to see and brilliant to have them around the senior setup. I think there's some really promising talent coming through, and it's nice for me personally to see that, because I've known a lot of them and coached a lot of them since they were kind of 8-9 years old. So to be walking out on the pitch with them is kind of a full circle moment in some ways. So it's really nice to see that.
Yeah, how good is that? Now you play kind of central midfield, attacking midfield, is that right?
Yeah. I think we changed things up a little bit on the weekend, so stepping back into that striker role, which it's been a while since I've played up there. I do prefer more sat in the centre of the park, but we kind of adapt as we need, and it's really good as the team is starting to build. We can slot into some different formations with whatever's required on the day. So I'm enjoying the midfield role, but when needed, it's nice to step up
and being that kind of midfield role, but also being the target player up front. That balance you talk about across the park is also important, the transitioning from defensive to attacking and vice versa. But just having players all over the park that you can rely on, that you can trust, that must be a real big boost as well to your chances there at Galaxy.
Yeah, definitely is. And I think we've got some really good experience in the squad as well. We've got a lot of players that have played at the NPLW level, and we've got our overseas players who obviously bring in a whole different dynamic to the team as well. It's a really, really well balanced squad this year. As I said, we've got transfer windows coming up and things going on there, so there will be a few new faces coming in again. But I think we're really well balanced across the park, and it's just about making sure we're converting our chances now as well. So we've got a lot of chances that we've created. It's just about that final product that we're trying to work on. So we've got a Nike Cup match this week as well, so that's given us extra minutes.
Let's talk about that, because it's a busy week. And this Wednesday game against Ballarat City, there at Bannockburn Recreation Reserve, kickoff at 8 p.m. Exciting playing midweek games, but it can also be pretty tough and pretty kind of you're just recovering from the weekend, and now you're planning for the next weekend. How are you approaching the midweek game against Ballarat City? They're going to be a tough opposition.
Yeah, it'll be a tough one. It'll be interesting to see them. Obviously, we have them in the league as well, so it'll be interesting to see them in the Nike Cup. Midweek games are never easy as well. Obviously, the league we're playing at, we're all working full time and then coming after work and trying to get that sorted. So it has helped that it's been swapped to a home game as well. I think we're very lucky to have P3 Recovery in Geelong as one of our sponsors. So I've actually just got back from there myself and just trying to get the recovery sessions in. We're having a light session on the pitch tonight, and then it'll be the game on Wednesday into Manningham on the weekend, which will be another tough opponent who are kind of sat at the top of the table. So yeah, it'll be an interesting week, but just grateful to be able to get out there and play football and enjoy those moments.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's the fixtures there for Sunday. Another game backing up at Bannockburn Recreation Reserve. This time the kickoff is 3 p.m. up against Manningham United, who are currently in sixth position. Now, same amount of points as Galaxy, but slightly better goal difference, plus 4 goal difference better than Geelong Galaxies. I guess a win here, and you'll be leapfrogging Manningham United up the table. That's certainly something that will no doubt be a good carrot that's dangling there. But how are you going to do you know much about Manningham United? Do you know what their strengths, weaknesses at the moment are? Or at the moment, you're just sort of focusing on the Nike FC Cup game, and then later on in the week, you'll focus on Manningham?
Yeah, exactly right. I think we'll just take it one step at a time, and just it's still early days in the league. There's a lot of obviously with the VPLW not being live streamed now like it used to be. It's obviously we've got limited knowledge on quite a few of the teams. So yeah, you just kind of take it as it is, and we focus on what we do well and focus on us being unstoppable out on the pitch. So let them worry about us more. So it'll be interesting. Like I said, it's more minutes in the legs, and at this time of year, you just got to manage that well. But we're still coming into our form and really trying to bring about our identity out on the pitch, which is almost there, I think. So it'll be interesting to see how this week goes.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Now, let's talk just very, very quickly, briefly on your role at Football Victoria. You're involved with women's football coaching development. Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
How's that all coming along?
Yeah, it's going really well. Really enjoying the role in the coach education department. So obviously, it's a lot going on there. We obviously have our traditional courses of the C, B, A, the foundations, and then I've been kind of taking a lead role on Coach Her, which is trying to get more female coaches and drive our numbers up in Victoria. But also, once we have female coaches out there, we've got to be able to retain them and keep them. So it's really, Coach Her has been my kind of little baby, if you like, trying to grow that. We're actually running our first Coach Her coffee morning in Geelong this Sunday. So we're hosting that at Ballarat Soccer Club. So that's open to any female over the age of 14 who might be interested in coaching or is already coaching. Just come down, grab a coffee and chat football. I'll be there myself as well, so we can answer any coach education questions, or if anyone's struggling with anything, happy to just have a chat, and hopefully we can build that female coaching network in Geelong. Great opportunity as well for any clubs that are looking for some female coaches. We're going to have a room full of us down there, so it might be if people want to send down a female that might be looking for some female coaches, we can definitely help.
What a great idea! What do you have to book, or you just turn up?
It's there is a jot form if they can let us know, just so that we make sure we've got enough hot drinks available for everyone. You can head to Football Geelong's Facebook page, or it's even on the Barwon Soccer Club Facebook page as well. The clubs have been emailed the details, so hopefully the word's getting out there. There's just a little jot form just to let us know that you are coming, and we'll make sure that we've got enough teas and coffees there. Like I said, just very informal, just come in, having a chat, and hopefully that can build into more consistent networking away from the formal coach education environment. But for those that want to go further or looking for roles, it's a perfect opportunity to build that network.
Excellent. And what time does that start?
That's 9 till 10:30 that on Sunday. Lots going on with Coach Her. The weekend after, we've got Female Football Week obviously starting, so we're running a whole heap of courses down at the home of the Matildas as well, and there'll be further courses coming, hopefully regionally, and working on some funding at the moment to be able to do that. So lots and lots going on, but that's football.
That's how we like it, and especially during the winter season, that's for sure. Emily, you've certainly got your hands full, but it's great to see you've got a smile on your face. You're enjoying every second of it, and so too are we when the football season is in full swing. All the very best for this the Nike FC Cup game on Wednesday. Also the game coming up this Sunday. So we'll very, very quickly we'll pop the Nike FC Cup game there. If you're not doing anything this Wednesday night, pop down to Bannockburn at 8 p.m. against Ballarat City. and then also this Sunday as well against Manningham United at 3 p.m. also at the Bannockburn Recreation Precinct. Wishing you all the very, very best for the season ahead.
All good. Thank you very much, Tonchi.
Good on you, thank you. That was Emily Sutcliffe. She was the scorer of a hat trick on the weekend. Also assisted 2 other goals in Geelong Galaxy's 5-0 win last weekend over Ballarat City, and certainly got her hands full with lots and lots of stuff happening around the circles. Folks, speaking of a lot of things happening, we're going to take a short break, and after we return, we're going to be catching up with the coach of the Geelong Soccer Club senior men's team, Darren Duffy. They have had an absolutely fantastic start to the Men's State League 1 season. Coming up after these short messages from our sponsor. Don't go away. Aus Sports Line Marking is the Geelong Region's premier sports line marking service, servicing Greater Geelong, the Bellarine, Surf Coast and the Golden Plains Shire. Why choose Aus Sports Line Marking to mark out your sporting pitch? Well, we offer the following: professional, accurate sporting pitch line marking to competition standards, reliable service and clear communication, high quality paint and commercial grade equipment. We have experience working with many clubs, schools and councils in the region, and we are a local Geelong-based service. Book now and prepare your sporting field professionally and cost-effectively ahead of the coming 2026 winter season. For more information, contact Steve from Aus Sports Line Marking Geelong on 04 08 395 395 or email us at aussportslinemarking@gmail.com. And welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. And it's time for our next guest today. And after a little bit of a shaky start in round 1, Geelong Soccer Club has recorded 4 wins from their last 4 games to head the Men's State League 1 competition. And they've all been clean sheets as well, so you can't ask for more than that. And to find out the start to the Men's State League 1 season and how it's all progressing both on and off the field, we're joined by the head coach of the senior men's team out at Winslow Park, Darren Duffy. Darren, welcome to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. How are you, first of all?
I'm good, Tanji. Thanks for having me, mate.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure having you. Well, tell us a little bit. This is an opportunity for the Geelong football fraternity to find out a little bit more about the man that is Darren Duffy. Tell us a bit about yourself, mate.
So my background, Tanchi, is I came from Ireland probably 2007. I came over here and met my beautiful wife, and then that was my ticket into Australia. So, been here close to now 20 years. So,
but you still got that thick accent. You haven't let go of that.
Hanging on to it, everything I can do to hang on to it. So, no, my background in football, Tanchi, is obviously my part of the world, Ireland, England, Scotland, you know, that area. Mm-hmm. Football crazy. So that's the upbringing. I grew up in a football mad house. Father who big Chelsea fan all his life. 2 brothers who were big Liverpool fans. So yeah, every day, morning, noon, and night, radio, TV, everything was just football. So yeah.
And what about yourself, mate? Were you part of the brothers club or part of the dad's club or somewhere in between?
No, I took a different route because I was like challenging people. I actually went down the route of supporting Newcastle.
Oh, there you go.
I've ever made in my life. We went through a bad spell there about 10 years ago, but it's getting better. Eddie Howe's doing a great job, but we're just restrained with those PF what was it, the financial rules at the moment.
Yeah.
Hoping we could open the checkbook like Man City and Chelsea did in the past, but no, you can't do that now. So yeah.
Moving to matters, I guess, closer to home and the Geelong Soccer Club, you're the head coach there. Now, how did that come about? In the off season, you got the gig. It was a tough one because the club had just been relegated from VPL 2 into Men's State 1, and they're quite a demanding lot, the supporters there at Winslow Park. But you've started very well. But take one step back. How did the gig at Winslow Park come about?
The gig came up at the end of last season. The club I was with previously, we severed ties. So I was on the market, and the minute I think word got out that I was on the market, I had 7 or 8 offers from all across Melbourne. So I had 4 or 5 offers down in the southeast and 2, 3 offers in the northwest. So how it came about, like anything I do in life, I did my due diligence, looked into every club, and to be honest, Tonchi, when I met with Geelong, they came across obviously very ambitious. They feel they should be up higher, and I agreed with them. They should be higher with the facilities they've got and the people they've got there and the fans. So so I had a decision to make, but I always like challenging myself, and I hadn't attempted the Northwest League. I'd done well in the Southeast leagues. I went back to back with from State 3 all the way up to VPL 2 with Bayside Argonauts. So then I wanted to test myself, take myself out of my comfort zone, and go and actually try something new. So out of all the options, Geelong, when I sit down and met you, you obviously know the people there, Rob, the president, and Steve Janowski, lots of people there. I sat down with them. They told me what they wanted. They seen what I'd done, and basically just black and white said, would you be able to do it here?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it. So so that's how I took the gig. And then when I got in, it was a case of, any coach probably listening knows that you've got to get the foundations right. So there was already a good solid foundation at Geelong, especially with their youth system. So I did, like I said, I did my due diligence, checked in with people that I know have played for Geelong, people that have played against them, and nothing but positive things coming back. Good people, just want the best for their club. So it just came down to getting the foundations right, and one of the first thing I had to do was get that backroom staff right. So if you give me a sec, I'll go through the backroom staff. I had it kind of landed in my lap straight away when I was announced. Ross Harvey, who you probably know up in that area.
Absolutely, yep.
I know Ross Harvey a while, so anyone that knows Ross Harvey knows how competitive he is, the standards he has. So he actually rang me saying he was always looking to get into coaching, and we know each other, and he said, I'd love to step in with you. So it was a no-brainer for me. So to have someone like Ross alongside me was like I said, a no-brainer. And then we got Izzy there as well. Izzy, who's played at the club, won leagues at the club. So Miroslav, the goalkeeping coach, new physio George, just getting all that in place first, Tonchi, before we even look.
Now, are you based in Melbourne? Are you? And
so
up and down?
I'm based down in Keysborough, close to Dandenong.
Right, I know the area quite well. So it's quite a hike, and obviously having guys that are either local or know the club very well locally, that's really important to you as well. But it takes a lot of commitment, that commute from Keysborough. Done it many a time in the opposite direction, and geez, it's a long drive, that's for sure. But it probably gives you lots of time to contemplate and sort of think up the strategies and analyze things. Do you find that kind of that long drive as well sort of a blessing in disguise, where it gives you a lot of that time where you can sort of think things over?
Yeah, 100%, Tonchi. I always anyone that knows me, my mindset, I always turn everything into a positive. So when I looked at the commute, I spoke with my wife. She knows how much I'm obsessed with it. So she said, if you can make it work, we'll make it work. Because everyone knows, especially coaches, you need a good woman behind you if you want to really do this job. So she knows what it takes as well. So no, it's good, Tonchi. Like you just said, it gives me time in that car on the drive to go over sessions, especially man management. Give those boys a phone call on the drive. Touch base with players, how they're feeling, injuries, checking in on everyone. So I turned it into a positive. It's good.
Excellent. Well, it was a bit of a negative start to the season, I guess, for want of a better word, with a loss 1-0 first up to Upfield 1-0. But mate, since then, 4 games, 4 wins, 4 clean sheets, and we'll quickly go through it. 1-0 win over Pascoe Vale, 1-0 win over Yarraville Glory. then 3-0 win over Layla United in the Macedonian Derby. And then last Saturday night, a 2-0 win over Altona East. And there's the end result, sitting pretty on top with 12 points, alongside Upfield, who's the only team, I guess, that has managed to defeat you guys. But and then there's a bit of a gap there. How have you seen the season so far, Darren?
From the start, Tanchi, when we came in, it's any club you go to when you're starting off. It's especially with Geelong. There was a lot of players. Obviously, the coach left last season. A couple of players left. So when I came in, it was a rebuild, but I turned it into a positive. Like I said, right now I get to bring players in on top of what is already at Geelong that we can mold into the type of players we want them to be. Yeah. But those performances, those results, that's all down to the players. That's you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with, and those clean sheets, everything. That's the players. That's the work they're putting in on the training ground. They've bought into what me and Ross are trying to what we're trying to bring to Geelong, which is work ethic is non-negotiable with me. And the players, when we played Layla Sloggett in the cup, I think it was 3-3, and it went to penalties. And we pushed each other right till the end. And unfortunately, we lost on penalties in that game. But when the players were walking off the pitch, all the fans were applauding them. And we went into the dressing room and I said to the players, look, the fans, all they want to see is a team that's going to go out and give effort. And I said, they'll always. So the players have bought into that. But like I said, we would not be in this position if it wasn't for the players. And that's not the starting 11. That's player 1 all the way up to player 36 in the reserves. They're all bought.
Yeah. Now, obviously, every club's got a leadership team that is sort of like the 2IC, if you like, of the coach or the coach's extended arm on the field. Now, Rory McKeon, he's the captain there, and he's got very, very experienced as a captain. But who are some of the other leaders that you kind of lean on as far as their on-field leadership qualities is concerned?
To be honest, Tonchi, my style of coaching, any club I've ever been at, if you want to achieve things, you can't have 2 or 3 leaders. You have to have a dressing room full of leaders. Now, leaders are different. They're built different in different ways. Some guys lead through example. Some guys lead through communication. But we're blessed because the players we brought in, that dressing room, they all drive each other. They all put demands on each other. Yeah, that's what we've been in. So I can't pinpoint one player in that dressing room, but I'll say all of them as a unit have been brilliant.
Yeah. Well, turning our attention now to this weekend's game, and it's a big one. Even though, like on the, I guess if we look at the ladder position, Western Suburbs are currently in 11th position. And you guys are on top at the moment. But these are the games, these are the danger games, I guess, isn't it? Because these are the games that you don't want the players to underestimate the opponents. And they always say championships are won in the little games where you consistently beat even the good team, the smaller teams as well as the good teams. How are you preparing towards this Saturday's game with Western Suburbs?
The game, Tanchi, we approach the exact same as we approach every game. Yep. The players have seen it from me and Ross and the coaches there that it's a big thing. It's a mentality thing that I try to shift in players is stop looking at round 11, stop looking at round 14 or a revenge game against such and such. It's 1 week at a time. We just approach each game. Yep. Focus on that Saturday, and then we move on to the next. So Western Suburbs, every team in that league, that's why I wanted to challenge myself. I know that league. Every week, teams are going to be taking points off each other. It's a really competitive league. So you can never go into a game or fixtures on a Saturday going, well, that's a definite win for them. You just don't know. So you got to approach every game, whether they're second or whether they're 12th. It's going to be the exact same mentality.
Yeah. And there's the ladder again. And obviously Upfield, 4 games, 4 wins. They've got a game in hand at the moment. I dare say they're kind of like the biggest threat to you guys as far as promotion. Now, is it the top 2 or top 3 that get promoted, by the way?
Pretty sure with the new rule change, I think it's top. The winner is automatic promotion to VPL2 and second place. I'm pretty sure they go into a playoff at second place from Southeast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so what other teams have you had a kind of a chance to kind of look at and think, Yep, they're going to be a pretty tough team for us. They're going to be another threat to us, to our chances of getting promoted or returning to the VPL2 comp.
No, look, they're all good teams, but I tend to, with my players and in the past, I tend to focus on us, work on what makes us so good. Get that to the boys. Yes, we respect every team we play, but let's focus on what makes us so good and where we come in the game. Not worrying about threats from the other team. Let's focus on us and respect every opposition. But like I said, every game we go into, there's no handbrake going up in any game going off. This will be an easy one this week. They will not be an easy one. Every game is tough.
Yeah, it's a tough gig, high pressure gig. We've spoken about how you use that the time in the car to sort of think things over and calm things down, I suppose. What else do you do away from football? What, particularly during the season when it is, dependent on results and things like that? What do you do to just relax your mind and maybe get away from it for a few hours or whatever the case may be?
My wife's going to hate me, Tanja, because when I get home from training, I stick straight away YouTube on and I'm watching games from all across the world.
You are a football tragic, aren't you?
But my wife and my daughter say to me all the time, they're like, you've just come in from training and you've just put on football straight away. So, no, but besides that, family time is massively important with me. Yeah. So I know they sacrifice a lot. Every coach knows that your family are the ones that kind of get left behind during the season. So we have a rule that once that season's finished, it's payback time, and I need to put all my time and effort back into them. So we'll be looking forward to it at the end of the season.
An old colleague of mine who was in the coaching circles, he always used to say, come August, September, when the season is finished, to answer the question, what are you going to do once the season finishes? He goes, I'm going to start talking to my wife again. That's probably very, very true. But before that happens, big game this Saturday night, May the 2nd, there at Winslow Stadium. Kick-off at 6 p.m, folks. Get down to Winslow Stadium. Big, important game for Geelong as they do battle against Western Suburbs. Darren, thank you for joining us on the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. It's been a pleasure, and I'm sure we're going to get you on before the season's end. But all the best for Saturday night and the season going ahead, season proper.
Beautiful. Look, delighted to be a guest, mate, and watch the show and thoroughly enjoy it. So keep up the good work you're doing promoting football in that area.
Good on you. All right. Thank you very much. Darren Duffy, the head coach of the Geelong Soccer Club senior men's team. Folks, we're going to take another commercial break, and when we return, we'll continue with tonight's episode of the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. Don't go away. Affordable plus quality equals Geelong Access Hire. At Geelong Access Hire, we have an extensive range of machines available. Our experienced team is ready to guide you through the selection process. Whether you need a boom lift for high-reach tasks, a scissor lift for narrow spaces, or a forklift for heavy lifting, we will assess your project requirements and recommend the most suitable machine. Our personalised service ensures you get the right equipment for maximum efficiency and safety on the job site. And with our commitment to competitive pricing, it means that you will always get top quality machines without breaking the bank. From short-term rentals for immediate tasks to long-term solutions for ongoing projects, we've got you covered. For a free quote or for more information, contact us on 03 4241 2463 or visit our website at geelongaccesshire.com.au. Geelong Access Hire is proudly locally owned and operated and a huge supporter of the local football community here in Geelong. Yes, and Geelong Access Hire is one of 4 business advertising sponsors on tonight's episode. Curva Coaching Geelong, Harcourts North Geelong, and Aus Sports Line Marking Geelong have all jumped on board to support this show. We are still looking for a major sponsor, so if there is an organisation, a business organisation out there that is interested in jumping on board and supporting the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It's only season episode 8. We would love to get to episode 25 this year, which will see us hit our magic 200 episode mark over 8 seasons. What an achievement that would be. communitysportsmedia@gmail.com. That's communitysportsmedia@gmail.com. Contact us via email or directly contact us via our Facebook page, or if you do know me, just reach out in person. Thank you, once again, to all of our business advertising sponsors. Now, one of the reasons why I was away over the last few weeks, last 4 weeks or so, was there was a tournament, a under-14 invitational tournament that was played in Vukovar in Croatia. Now, 2 young boys from Geelong, both that attend Western Heights College, that were selected as part of an Australian-Croatian under-14 select team. They took part in this tournament, which was an incredible experience for them. And both these boys, young Tommy Prusak and Luka Wesolowski, they also managed to train with some crack Croatian academy teams in Croatia. We're hoping next week to hear from one of the boys, Luka Wesolowski, who will talk about his experiences. And these boys were only 2 of 3 boys from the Geelong region that has represented this side over the last 4 years. Nicholas Skorjanic was a member of this Australian-Croatian team back in 2023. Okay, also whilst I was away, we had the Emerging Matildas and also the Emerging Socceroos happening, the National Youth Championships, as they once upon a time used to be known, or the National Junior Championships. I think that's a better name than Emerging Matildas, Emerging Socceroos. But basically, it is an identifying tournament for some of the Junior Matildas and Junior Socceroos teams. But yes, we're hoping to next week also catch up with the only captain from the Geelong region. There was a couple that were vice captains, but the only captain, and he was in the under-16 Victorian Country boys team, Nate Bradley, who was also featured in last year's competition when he was a member of the Victorian under-15s team. So we're hoping to catch up with those 2 juniors, those 2 youngsters, very, very talented juniors in our Geelong region. There's a lot of talented juniors, and a lot of those players there's a lot of that talent will be on display in June when the Victorian Junior Country Championships come to Geelong, and we'll be seeing quite a lot of the region's best young talent in action around about that time. Folks, that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's show. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you another episode of the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast, our 8th for the season. Next week, we will have our episode 9 on Monday night at 8 p.m. Until then, have a very, very good night. Have a great weekend, and do get out to a game or 2 of local football this coming weekend. Good night. Bye-bye.